Okay, so in 1986, 3 years after the release of Psycho 2, we get the follow-up Psycho 3, which in movie form takes place a month after the events of Psycho 2. Of course, the ending of Psycho 2 saw the revelation of the Emma Spool, this character called Emma Spool, revealing herself to be Norman's real mother. Of course, Psycho 3 retcons all of that, kind of Psycho 3 fixes up a problem that I had with Psycho 2. And when you watch Psycho 3, it makes that whole revelation pointless and makes you wonder why they didn't do a different angle, a different take with it. So pretty much Psycho 3 says that Emma Spool was in fact Norman's mother's sister. She was jealous at the fact that her sister stole Norman's father away from her, and in a jealous rage she killed Norman's father and kidnapped Norman when he was a baby, and she was sent to a psychiatric ward because of it. It's a very convoluted excuse for something that could have been easily avoided by not doing that really unnecessary twist at the end of Psycho 2. So Psycho 3 fixes all of that. But how is Psycho 3 on its own? It's not bad. It's pretty good. It's to me, it's not as good as Psycho 2, but I actually have grown to appreciate Psycho 3 a lot. The movie is directed by Anthony Perkins, who makes his directorial debut. So in addition to starring in the film, he directs it, and he does a fair job with it. He has a lot of really cool directorial ideas. There's this one shot that I just love, where Norman is in a hospital talking to a character. Then he opens a door, and he ends up at the Psycho house. I thought that's a real cool transitional shot that you really see on during stage plays. So I thought that was really pretty cool seeing that in movie form. Really cool idea. This movie's got some interesting additions to it. We have Jeff Fahey playing a character called Dwayne Duke. You can call him Duke. Wash the guitar. He's a real sleaze, but I like him. And Jeff Fahey plays a real arrogant, sleazy guy. It's great. Diana Scorwin is in this movie. She plays a character called Maureen Coyle. And this character, Maureen Coyle, gives Norman's flashbacks of Marion Crane. But I also like this romance that develops between Norman and Maureen. Like, they really start to have a nice romance develop between those two. These two tortured characters find each other, and it takes away their pain in a way. You know, Maureen is a psychologically tortured nun, and well, we already have 2 movies to know just how fucked up Norman Bates is. So these two characters, they're a match made in heaven, pretty much. So yeah, I like that whole angle that goes on there. The movie itself, it's not really all that interesting. It's kind of forgettable in a way, to be honest with you. The story isn't all that much. The story is pretty much like an investigation piece. This reporter named Tracy Venable is trying to find out what happened to Mrs. Spool from Psycho 2. And of course she finds out the information and all that stuff, and that's how the events of Psycho 2 get retconned in this movie. So yeah, that's the only purpose of her character, pretty much. Tracy Venable's character. She's kind of like throwaway. Like I said, yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about Psycho 3. I'll tell you the truth, Psycho 3, like I said, it's not that good of a movie compared to Psycho 2, which I think is a better movie and has a much better plot going through it. Has a much better plot to it. This movie's plot isn't really, like I said, this is more like a murder investigation type movie mixed with a little bit of romance with Norman and Maureen Coyle. And of course, this movie there's like a little rivalry that develops between Duke and Norman, where the Venable tells Duke all these things, and Duke tries to use that against Norman to get money out of him. Of course, Norman says, "Fuck you," and kills him. Yeah, the kills in this movie are okay. There's this one kill of a girl that gets stabbed to death in a phone booth, which is pretty intense. I think there's only 1 kill in this whole movie. No, 2 kills if you count. No, 3. No, the third one with Maureen's death was accidental. You know, she fell down the stairs, a la a nice recreation of Arbogast's death from part 1. That's how Maureen dies, which is pretty clever. You know, the whole, same camera shot and everything. I would say this Perkins' directorial choices very heavily inspired by the first Psycho film. There's a lot of callback lines also from Psycho 1 and Psycho 3, which are pretty good too. Screenplay by Charles Edward Poe. You know, like I said, The story is okay, but the script is fine. The dialogue is pretty good. The interactions between characters is fine. It's new. It's good. They all play off well with one another. Uh, yeah, it's pretty much it. I don't really have a lot to say about Psycho 3. Like I said, Psycho 3 is compared to Psycho 2, Psycho 3 is really forgettable, and it's not that interesting of a movie, but it's not a horrible movie either. It's a quality film. You can watch it and not get bored with it, and it completes this Psycho trilogy, I guess, in an okay way. So yeah, if you haven't seen Psycho 3, give it a watch. Why not? It's a quick watch. It ain't boring. It's decent for what it is. And I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's serviceable. It does its job. Anthony Perkins puts in a stellar performance, as he always does. And Anthony Perkins, as a director, did a fine job. Cinematography looks nice. The atmosphere is good. The pacing is well done. And that's it. That's all I got to say about Psycho 3. Not a lot. Really not a lot to say. But if you've seen Psycho 3, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like the vid. Subscribe to the channel. I'll check you back next time for more.